Baby, baby. Yeah, I don't see any kind of. I'm always having trouble with these dumbass pieces of equipment. Now, we just did have a little bit of a chat beforehand. I know that it opened on July 8th, 1983. You weren't there right at the start. You joined in 1986. When you came out to Greystones, I don't know whether there was any kind of culture shock, whether you were already kind of up and running with the DJ world, so you knew every crowd wants the same thing. They want to have a good time. They want to jump around. Or were Greystones people a bit special?
No, they weren't. It was a different kind of. The only difference was the accents. You know,
right.
This was Greystones was more D4 than the D4 at the time.
Wow.
And you had the upper class Greystones and you had the work class Greystones.
Right.
And they were all just great people. The kids were just great fun. They were up for anything, and of course. It was the first venue I came to that was over 18s. It wasn't over 21s. It wasn't over 20. It was over 18s, and that was it. Of course,
and even then, it mightn't have been always exactly over 18.
Well,
just the odd person.
The ID cards weren't of the digital quality they are now.
Yeah, they're all handwritten ID cards in those days.
They would have been, on the back of a Barry's tea box.
Yeah.
But it was very local, and then it became not so local, and people started to realise there was something just a bit mad going on, and that was my job.
Get people from all over coming. It wasn't just Greystones and Kilcool and Delgan and all that. People were coming from afar. As a kind of a
we
like
won
a
an
special
award actually from RTE. I can't remember some pop show. We got some award.
Wow.
Best nightclub in Ireland. It was a ridiculous thing, and all of a sudden, it just went mental. But it was because of the fact that the place was laid back. We were playing music that other venues wouldn't play or couldn't play or weren't played because the managers, were let's play 70s, let's play 80s. That was the great time.
Right.
It's whatever the kids are listening to today, and the same applies today. It is what it is. It's today's music. Is today's music.
Sure.
Our music was, but it was of its time. It was right in the middle of that kind of golden generation before digital came along, before Facebook came along, before Netflix and Sky Movies and all the things that kept people in their houses. People wanted to go out. If you wanted to meet people, you had to go out and meet them.
Well, I've said it before to you, and I've said it to a lot of people around here. It may be hard to imagine, but there was a time when you headed out early on a Friday or Saturday night or even a Sunday night just to make sure you got in the door, because you could sometimes come down here and it's full and you can't get in, and you just be thinking, holy
full Greystones,
and it was just rocking all the time. And this gorgeous walk here now, this is like a pilgrimage to most people. They'd be very familiar to people of my generation and a little bit older and a little bit younger, and I'm sure that there must be at least a handful of children conceived on this walkway here, because it had its moments of glory and ecstasy.
Yes,
and
it was a famous walkway where the Thompson twins used to live in the cottage up in the beginning.
There was no cheap motels in Greystones. You had to do with the hedges and the
beach. The beach was the go-to place in those long hot summers of the late 80s.
Now this is
late 90s. I keep saying late 80s, but late 90s. The beach was great. There was a good few beach parties late at night.
Well, we should give a shout out to the Doyles, of course, a family who kind of really sparked the Cabanas into existence. Olive and Richard and their kids, and of course Louise was it Louis ran the stables, and it just sort of seemed to be an all-in-one kind of between a venue and a snooker hall for a while, and it seemed to just be a thriving kind of, and it had a sort of a slightly Wild West feel about it. It wasn't a corporate kind of situation. It was a family running parties,
and it was young people and people who thought like young people, like Olive and Richard. Olive would be a few years older than me now. Richard sadly passed away a couple of years ago, but Olive was, she was a really savvy businesswoman, and she knew what she was doing. She wanted it to be. She wanted it to be fun. Right. We often forget in our business that people do go out to have fun. Right. And it's not all about the pound, shillings and pence at the end of the day. If they're not fun, they're not going to come back. Sure. So we had fun, and she allowed me to play whatever music I wanted, whatever worked. So the golden rule of being a DJ was play to what's in front of you. Yeah. So on any particular night, it could be it could be all rock one night, it could be pop music another night, it could be X, or it could be Y, and of course we were getting in at the very beginning of the dance era, the kind of rave era. So a few of those were starting to make appearances, and I was allowed to play them where a lot of places weren't, and the kids danced. That's what they wanted. We gave them what they wanted. I think that was a big part of it, you know.
Well, the 80s, I think,
we never let's go, oh, I'm not playing that shit, you know what I mean? Because
Right.
that wasn't there's never been my way of doing it. It is what it is. You know, you were as entitled to listen to the Bay Street Rollers as somebody else is entitled to listen to Rage Against the Machine or
Sure.
whatever it is. And that was my job. My job was to make sure everyone was happy. That was what we did.
And did you
send them home sweating.
Did you ever have that mantra? There was always a moment of any night, even when the place is rocking and people are jumping off the ceilings and swinging out of furniture, you'll always get somebody who'll come up and just give you the slow look and say, play some decent music.
Yeah, play something now, buddy, will you? Yeah. No, listen, I have to listen. 40 years playing music to people. You can't make everyone happy. So
Sure.
what you do is, you try and make them all, and you never send somebody away. Turn somebody away badly. There's a way of doing it, and say, listen, I can't do it tonight, mate. Next time you're in, I'll play for you. And I would often see guys come in who would ask me for something the week before, and I'll play it as they walk in the door. The place is empty, stuff I can't really play because it's not appropriate, or it just wouldn't work at the time. So, and I had that kind of relationship with people, and it's always been my way as a DJ was to be that guy.
Yeah.
That was
because it's the right time to play stuff. You can get away with oddities early on in the night, and even in the slow set it's a little bit easier. But you certainly want to give everybody their little moment of joy. And
every now and again I would throw in, the art is to keep people guessing, and I would throw in something totally left field at the end of the night. It might be the song the guy had asked me for 2 hours before that I would never thought of playing. All of a sudden it was,
boom.
Why not?
And we lived in a time too when you could, you'd have a big sing-along kind of ending, like that idea of doing, New York, or Dirty Old Town, or so, and just stuff that you shouldn't really be at the end of a dance, but you just sort of feel it's a sort of a country element to the crowd that just want their big favourite.
Well, I had a finishing song, and I don't know if you will remember it, but it was the finishing song I finished here every night, which was Celebrate.
Right, Cool and the Gang.
No.
Celebrate by which one? Spadna Ballet? I'm trying to think which one.
The Emotional Fish.
Oh right, there you go. That's the one, of course. I was going, fair enough, Cool and the Gang.
It come out during that era, and I absolutely loved it. It spoke to me.
Right.
And Jerry Whelan, Jerry Fish, is was one of my heroes. I'd seen an Emotional Fish play live in the stables.
Right.
They finished off with that song, and it was a new song to them, and for 20 odd years I finished in hundreds of venues with that song.
Nice. We'll have to link that. I
had it remixed recently, and I still use it, and I had an extended version of it made just for me.
Right.
And I still use it. I've done a few Cabanas reunion parties.
Nice.
With Wayne Hayden, we did one.
Oh yeah,
up
in the Rugby Club. There you go.
Down in the Rugby Club, and I've done a couple in Mrs. Robinson's.
Right.
And I still finish with that song.
I don't know if it's possible, given the amount of nights you DJ'd here, if there's certain nights that stick out. I mean, obviously the last night was a big emotional one because it's your 40th birthday, and suddenly it's the last night of Cabanas. But I don't know if there are other nights that sort of stick out.
Yeah, there's one particular night that sticks out for me. The Greystones festival was always a bugbear with us because they wouldn't let us be part of the whole thing. We were always getting slagged off from the pulpit in the church. Right. But nobody ever had a good thing to say, and nobody above 30 had a good thing to say about Cabanas unless they were sliding in the back door late at night. But we weren't allowed to be in the festival, and then one year they decided they'd let us be in the festival, and we were going to get the festival Queen Ball, which was the big night.
Right.
And 3 days beforehand they cancelled us and moved it back to the beach house.
And was there any reason, do you think?
We don't know. We never found out. But Olive, being Olive, says, okay, we're going to throw an alternative festival Queen Ball, which turned into be a drag queen ball.
There you go.
And a certain gentleman whose name I shouldn't mention, Tommy Green.
Hey.
Tommy and Cyril Vickers, and I'm trying to think, was it Tommy Green? No, it wasn't Tommy Green, I can't remember.
Good looking lads, put a dress on that.
Tommy Mitchell, actually.
Right.
Tommy Mitchell. Take it back, Tommy Green, you're always forgiven. Tommy Mitchell won it. Now, the thing about it was, I can't remember, I knew it was Cyril Vickers and Tommy Mitchell. And they had 3 judges from the Irish Independent, the Sunday World, and I think at this time it could have been the Star or the Sun or one of those. And thing got a bit out of control. It was bananas. Tommy decided to not only moon the judges, but to give them the old swinger. He may or may not have had half a bottle of vodka poured into him beforehand.
Now this is before or after he won, because it could have swung it in his favour. Literally.
Could have been after. Could have been after. He did win it, but
right.
The person from the Irish Independent got up and walked out and discussed and and wrote a column about it.
Deadly.
And didn't give, wasn't too nice to us, but of course it did. You know, there's no such thing as
bad publicity.
Yeah, bad publicity. And of course, for the next couple of months, it was just the talk of the town. But it was absolute riot. And then we had Aslan the following day, I think on the Sunday, playing on a trailer outside.
Wow.
In the car park. Oh, this was all done within 3 days. And at the time, Aslan were the big thing, and they were going to be the next U2, and of course
they still are going to be the next U2.
They emptied we had the car park full of people.
Right.
Aslan playing on a trailer, and I think we had the Flat Cowboys as well. And nobody went to the real one.
There you go.
That was the kicker.
Just by coincidence, last night, myself, my beloved, and a few friends watched Taffin again, and this was Pierce Brosnan, 87, shot all around here. And of course, there's a famous scene in Cabanas. There's a Father Ted, Dermot Morgan is the compare for a good old-fashioned stripper show, which we don't have enough of around here. But I was just thinking, that must have been hilarious at the time. That I don't know whether you were aware of it, whether it was a daytime.
I was there.
All right.
I was there. I was supposed to be the DJ, and in the end, I can't remember what happened. I didn't get to be the DJ anyway. Myself and I think Tony Farley were here. The whole thing. We were outside. We were outside smoking cigarettes with
Pierce and the rest.
Pierce and I think Alison Doody was in it as well.
She's the girlfriend, the American kind of travelling.
And then we watched them crash the car. I think Kelly's crashed the car. One of the Kellys crashed the car. Was it the Jag or the Mustang?
I know they were in the movie. The Mustang, Pierce reverses it into the Jag as a kind of, basically a revenge thing. And then they do a car chase up to killing car. Yeah, it just seems you're smacking up your own car.
But they were here for 3 days, and
great movie, classic movie. Hey, we should say too now, as much as that was a night to remember with young Mr. Mitchell, giving it loads, we'll say to his judges and beyond. Would there be nights where you'd like to try and forget? I don't know whether there was some nights that was a bit too deboisterous or a bit too.
No, there wasn't a night I didn't. I would be at 5 o'clock in the evening. I would come home from the time I had been married a couple of years, and I had some children, and I had to look after them. So I had a day job in the Irish Export Board. But I would 5 o'clock on a Friday, I would be gagging to get to work. If I get in for 9 o'clock, get the doors open at 9:30. It was officially 10, but we try to get the doors open at 9:30 so the queue wouldn't build up too much. And I would just I loved every minute of it. There wasn't a night that I didn't want to be there. Oh. And as I said, I took one night off in 5 years.
Wow.
I was the only DJ that played here.
You lazy swine. You lazy. Why didn't you come in that night now? What the hell? Were you tired or?
No, I was sick. I was
okay,
actually,
we'll give you one night off then.
Yeah,
for sick. Over 5 years, that's okay then. That's allowed.
It was a friend of mine who sent in, and he died of death. Wow. So, but it was no. I loved every minute of it. I loved this place. I was heartbroken when it closed because there was big plans for the place. And
that must have been a shock. Now I know you said that just saying that we're talking about the fact that the houses are there and it's becoming difficult that they're getting a lot of grief from the new houses beside them. The fact that it was still thriving, it must have made it more of a rug pull than it wasn't like you thought, well, things aren't going great. The fact that it was still the place to go. And
it was a shock because Olive did the right thing. She didn't tell us and she didn't tell anybody.
Right.
The deal had been done with the builders. We had been there for the year. I think we had already been there for a year, and she had known about it a year before, and she'd been given a year's grace.
Okay.
And I think that's what it really was. But she knew it was good business. It was good business. She couldn't. You wouldn't have survived with what a nightclub.
Sure.
This.
I'm sure even the Beatles had to break up. Sometimes it's just something runs its course and it's the right time to.
It ran its course, and then of course the tracks opened up the road.
Yeah.
I did a few nights on the tracks, but it wasn't my kind of venue.
Right.
And,
but I'm amazed too, and I just love the fact that you're as I said earlier, you're still in this world and you have total entertainment and you're still DJing, and that idea that naturally music is always going to shift a little bit. There's going to be nostalgia mixed in there. People always like the classics and all that. But I'm kind of shocked when I realise that what used to be a simple thing of seeing what was number one in the charts, it's now, there's just so many different sources. You can get something with 25 million hits on YouTube that isn't in the charts. You almost have to sort of be aware that there's an underground all the time.
All the time.
And it's a little bit trickier to keep up with. But of course, people tell you what they love, and that's easy then to
that's why
catch up. And
it's much more diverse. Like the dance music business, dance music is whatever music the people who are there to want to dance to.
Sure.
If that's, if it's a room full of 60-year-olds and they want to dance to stuff from the 70s and 80s, that's their dance music.
Sure.
As each generation comes along and music changes,
they have their soundtrack and
their dance music. So, the thing about it is when you go to a venue now and, they'll give you guidelines, and the DJ can be a bit more creative. You can bring stuff up that's nobody knows. The radio will never have heard of it.
Right.
And, that may work, may not.
Sure.
But if it fits the venue, well then it should work. And there's so many. If you go into the city centre now, there's so many different venues. But it's a sad thing that a place like Greystones doesn't have that kind of one centre point anymore. I don't really know what's going on in the beach house now. Well, I know what Mrs. Robinson's does because I'm still involved in programming.
There's still good nights out. Yeah, there's still good nights out, but it's a strange one now where the numbers are, just given that the population has doubled or more since the 80s, that you would think it'd almost be queues into the pubs not being able to get in. But people just live differently now, and they look, as you say, Dublin's only a sneeze away. It's not like the old days where you had to do a full Lord of the Rings to get to Dublin and back. Now it's just a train ride, and you get a late bus or whatever you want.
Well, you can go up to Lochlestown, jump on a Lewis, you're in Stephen's Green in 22 minutes.
Sure.
Very
different kind of lifestyle now that you've access to everything and anything.
You're straight into the city centre where you have hundreds of different types of venues, and of course nightclubs have died in the city centre as well. Right. It's all late bars, restaurants that now turn into late night venues. There's a lot more live music than there has been for years. In fact, ever. I think there's more live music. The quality is better, the sound systems are better, the light is better, and so you've got a multiple choice of places to go. So why wouldn't you do that?
Sure.
But there is still, I think there's still space for people of a certain age who have children, small kids, and they have to go home, they have babysitters and all the rest of it. I think it would be my experience in Greystones that Mr. Robinson's hit that note. It's got that slight nostalgic feel to it. It's shabby chic, it's kind of cool venue to go to, and I really like it. I really like what it does.
Let's say there's good nights. I mean, I know the Beach House pack out on the Wednesday. They have bingo and their Saturday night covers, and then the Whale are doing. I'm just saying it's great that Greystones at least has a few places.
It does have a few places.
There is a little bit of life still in the old girl because
as long as the people that operate the venues realise that you've got to look at the market, you look at the age profile of the people that you want. You can't. It's not about us, the people in the business. It's about the people out there.
Absolutely,
what they like to do.
Sure.
Ask them. That's a lot of the time. That's what you got to find out is what do they want to do.
I suppose to wrap up, I've always had like in my mind like the one song that I just think is perfect when it comes to a dance floor and all that is Donna Summer, I Feel Love. I just can't get enough of that could go on for an hour. I'd be happy. I don't know if you have such a thing, given that you've had such a long kind of experience, whether it just keeps changing or there's certain songs that are just perennials for you that just sort of stick.
The ones that come back, the ones for instance, I might do at the moment about 50 gigs a year, and a lot of them would be kind of weddings where people would want me to go for that soundtrack of their life kind of thing. There are about a half a dozen songs that always work. Rhythm Is a Dancer. Maniac, which is a 2000 song, of course, which is sticks to everybody's throat, but it's still a floor filler. I mean, it's really you're playing what's in front of you. But I would say from that era, I can't really put a. I can't. If you had to say to me, it would have to be. Oh God! It would have to be something like Ebenezer Scrooge, Shame, and it would have to be the stuff that was kind of just coming
edgy and pushing at that time.
That kind of 88, 89 period, which was just just changing. Music was changing into this, where the underground has become the overground, and that's what happens.
And what's incredible too, though, just to finish up, is that you got movies constantly are having sequels and remakes, and yet you look at music and people like ABBA are probably doing as well as they did in their early 80s, and there's a sort of
being remixed all
and
the
Madness
time.
And Blondie and all that. They can kind of have a certain degree of traction still with certainly with the older crowd, but they're even sort of crossing over to just being in pop culture.
Yeah, when you see the likes of, you know, you've got the Basic Rollers playing up in Leopardstown in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
You know, but bands who have been gone and come back, like you look at Human League, there are certain songs, you know, that and because the band these guys were still brilliant musicians, Heaven 17, all that kind of, you know, they come back and they do their retro tours and they sell out.
Sure.
You know, and people go and they have a great night because it is their history,
and it's a hits night, which is always a good thing, because you know, as much as a new band will have a good album, you really just want to hear the hits. You know,
just want to hear them.
You don't hear Spinal Tap 2, you want to hear Spinal Tap 1.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it's all about.